Right, good morning, Year 7. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do an assignment to finish off this topic of magnets. And I'm going to use this to essentially see how well you've done and understood this topic, and we're going to level it. It's a little different from what you're used to because it's not questions. So I'll just explain how it works. So we've talked about how we used magnets and electromagnets, and one of the things we use them for is a junkyard crane like this. So your task is going to be this, okay? Now, the scrap heap magnet challenge. So all metal scrap heaps, metals can be moved using and sorted using a large electromagnet. How do you think a scrap heap magnet actually works? You've got a diagram there, and here is your task. Describe what a scrap heap magnet can do. Explain how scrap heap magnets work. Now, realistically, this is probably going to be the equivalent of a double page in your book, okay? Because you're going to need to include quite a lot of things in order to do this properly. Now, describe means say what's going on, say what you see. Explain means you have to say how or why something happens. Right, so you've got a list of keywords that you must use probably several times over in order to make sure you've explained it properly. And then what you've got here are what you need to include in order to get certain levels. So if you do all of these items here, you would have achieved level 3. If you were to do all of these, you would have achieved level 4. However, to really make sure you achieve level 4, you need to make sure you do all of those. Some of them have a bit of overlap, so draw diagrams to show how a scrap heap magnet, or sorry, what a scrap heap magnet does. You can see there that's repeated there, but obviously it goes more and more complex each time. And then obviously that'd be a level 5. Okay, so essentially it tells you what you need to do. So when you draw your diagrams, you're going to have to label them and explain what's going on and also describe what's going on. So take your time and actually plan what you are going to do, because that's the most important part. Think, right, how can I set this out? Am I going to have a diagram as my central idea and draw lots of sort of links coming off it? Am I going to have, say, a circuit diagram? Am I going to have a diagram of a magnetic field? Which diagrams are you going to use? You'll need several paragraphs which include keywords, okay? And you can't just dump the keywords in there. They've got to be explained in a context, okay? So you can't just go permanent magnet is, okay? How is a permanent magnet linked to an electromagnet? Or is it, okay? Attract, repel, what does that even mean? Steal, why is that in there? Okay, now that's your task, and so you'll need to go back through your book, and you can also use the internet to get any extra notes that you need in order to complete it. And then whatever you do, you need to upload it to assignments. So pictures off the internet, don't mind. Anything you take off the internet though that is written, you have to write it up as your own, which means you can't copy and paste. Okay, I want to really emphasize that point. You cannot do that because it's copying. Okay, you can research online and get some information, but it has to be your own words. Pictures though are okay to copy. So you can see here it says level 3 to 5. For those of you that want to push yourselves a little bit harder and maybe get a higher grade, you could the same thing. However, it's at a level 5 to 7. It's not letting me scroll down, but it's essentially the same task but with more added detail. Okay, so you can see here, there it is. You would need to include some of the extra detail from last lesson in order to push it right up to a level 7. Okay, so again, think, how can I do this? Which diagrams do I need to use and why would I need to use them? Remember, you can't just write keywords and hope that they explain themselves. You've got to write them in coherent sentences and link it to the task, which is outlined here. Okay, so the two sheets will both be in assignments. You can choose which one you do, and then you upload it to your task to assignments at the end of the lesson. So if you do it on, say, a Word document, that's fine. You can simply upload that at the end of the lesson, or you can take a photograph of whatever you do on your phone and you can upload it that way. That's also fine. Okay, so it should take you about 40 minutes to do this if you research it and then write it all out properly. And as always, I'll be online to help you and answer your questions. So good luck, and let's see how we get on with this.